Good afternoon. My name is Lilian Redrimo. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. And as you're aware, we've been doing a series on men's mental health wellness. This is June, a month that we sit to remember the plight of men and to support them in their mental wellness. And as such, I have two guests with me who are going to define what they do. And this is so powerful because sometimes these are ignored aspects of our wellness. And so we are going to let them speak. And I will start with Nick. Tell us your name, tell us what you do, and tell us what you're here to talk about.
My name is Nick Opar. I run Marvelous Ventures. Mm-hmm. It's a tour company, and also I run Mchezaji Limited. Mm-hmm. It's a sports company. Yeah, and today we are here to talk about physical exercises. Mm-hmm. And how they contribute to mental wellness in men. Yes.
So Nick is talking to us about the place of physical fitness, what exercises do. Sometimes we get too busy to focus on moving these bodies and exercising, and the role that fitness plays in our mental wellness. Please, Moses, introduce yourself, tell us what you do and what you're here to talk about.
My name is Moses Opondo. I'm a freelance digital marketer, and on the side I also run a health and wellness store that I call Restore and Thrive. Today I'm here to share with us the impact of mindfulness on men's health and wellness as we mark this month of June, mental health.
Beautiful. And Moses, let me tell you, in my work with clients, majority of the times people don't understand what mindfulness is. Maybe you can, in a simple way, define to us mindfulness.
Mindfulness, the simplest way of looking at it is being present, being aware of the current moment without any mental commentary. Mm-hmm. And it's mostly confused by people think it's about controlling your thoughts. Mm-hmm. So it's good that I also say what it's not.
Please
do. It's not controlling your thoughts, but it's rather allowing yourself not to be controlled by your thoughts. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because thoughts will always be there, but then you have to make sure you don't live in the past or live in the future, because thoughts are always, they can only be in three places, either the past, the future, or the present. Yeah, so mindfulness is a practice that just helps you to establish awareness in the present moment.
I love that, and I love the part of us living the here and now, because majority of the times, even when people come into the therapy room, the level of stress that they're experiencing has nothing to do with the present moment. They're either ruminating about a past that they have absolutely no control because it has already happened. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong in looking at the past because you can learn lessons from it. Or at times they're so, they're fixated on the future, again, which you have no control over. You can only plan better for you to experience that beautiful tomorrow. So thanks for alerting us on the beauty of being in the present moment and not really controlling your thoughts. Nick, when did you first start exercising? Is it something that you were born into a family that did this? What was your defining moment to embrace a lifestyle of physical fitness? And by the way, you give us pressure. You give us pressure.
Yeah.
Working with you need pressure too. Lakini is a good pressure.
Good pressure.
Yes.
That's great. Now that you've asked me that question, I remember it was quite some time when, I think right after school.
Mm-hmm. High school or primary?
High school.
Okay.
High school. I went through some tough time. I'd lost my parents, so I think we went home. For me, I was at home. I was the stubborn kid. So then my uncle came in and I was sent to Shags. While being there, I started just, fixing cement into, both cement like weights. and started lifting weight, a bag, to perhaps maybe punching bag. And I think he started there. Yeah, it kind of helped me. It kind of helped me, prepared me mentally, to overcome the situation then and the season that I was in. So it started there. Then I went to college, and after coming from college, I picked it up again. No, in college I was actually doing football. I was playing football. I was part of the soccer team. Yeah. So after college, I picked it again, and now I started going to the gym. Yeah, I think I resumed and I started going to gym. Yes, and from then till now, yeah, I've been doing that for quite some time. Moses has been, Moses was there. We've been friends for quite some time. So
he knows the before and the after.
he knows. He's been there. Yeah. Well, at some point we were trying to encourage him, but for him, he was so fixated on the mindfulness, yes, from long before. Yeah. Yeah, so that's how I embraced it. Yeah, and it has helped me. It has helped me a lot. Yeah.
Beautiful. And we'll come to the benefits, but I love that financial setbacks did not stop you. You were very creative with the cement and the road.
Yes,
I'm creating that picture in my head,
yes,
because we know the normal weights in the gym,
yes,
from an advantaged position.
Yeah.
But then they are very determined with a goal, and this goal pushes you to a place of creativity. Yes, and so you use the resources at hand. So that is to say, anybody who has limitations, financial limitations, does not use that as an excuse not to engage and not to embrace the place of physical fitness. So I love that. I love that.
Yes.
And for you, Moses, tell us about mindfulness. What was that point that made you walk into this space? Is it someone you saw doing it? Is it a program you watched? Is it a course you took? What was that defining moment?
Well, I'd gotten to this point in life. I was going through certain things in my life. Mm-hmm. It was a period of great upheaval. Mm-hmm. Many changes were happening at the family level. Mm-hmm. I'm a father to 3 children. Okay. Yeah, so it had gotten to a point where I knew I wouldn't be with them under the same roof going forward, and that really took a toll on me. Yeah, so mindfulness is a word I just heard. It's closely associated with meditation as well. Yeah. Yeah, but then in my the moment I realized I needed something for myself, mm-hmm, was when I could experience insomnia, lack of sleep. Okay. There's a time I would have very bad migraines. And with time, I came to discover these are what are called psychosomatic disorders. Correct, yeah. Yes. Yeah. So like you've gone through a certain mental stress, a stressful period, and it either triggers a physical illness, mm-hmm, or it aggravates it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I learned about mindfulness just through my research in meditation, mm-hmm, and I thought it's a simple thing. Requires no extra resources, mm-hmm, and something that I could attempt. So that was my first trial, mm-hmm, yeah, with mindfulness. And since that time I've experienced the benefits, mm-hmm, and I've never stopped. Just been going on and on and on. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also encouraging others to maybe embrace it or try it out. Okay.
And I appreciate your vulnerability in sharing that a life calamity, a life difficulty had happened. And so as such, there were difficulties that you were experiencing, and these difficulties took away your sleep, introduced physical suffering in your body, and as such, you were looking for a solution to try and deal with this problem. And you did not go to the vices, because it's very easy to turn to vices, drinking, partying hard, doing substances. You chose a very healthy way of dealing with the stress. So we celebrate that, and that speaks about resilience, and it speaks about core values, that your core values pushed you in the positive direction of life, as opposed to this other side where, because 2 people can go through the same experience, absolutely, but one makes a very different set of choices while another takes a totally different path. So allow us to engage you on understanding what are some common misconceptions that people have about mindfulness?
Like I mentioned earlier, even for myself, they associated it with, let's say, the Eastern traditions, yeah, the Eastern religions. Was that's why you always see someone sitting in a meditative pose, so, or the New Age movement, yeah. So that was one of the barriers or the roadblocks I had to overcome to fully embrace it, and that's something I see, yeah, most people confuse it with. And mindfulness and meditation, actually, they're even two different things.
Okay, please tell us more.
Yeah. Mindfulness is simply that present, being aware with the present moment, and you can do it at any moment, even throughout the day. It depends with how well grounded you are in it. It's something you can do when you're doing your normal work, your exercise, you're eating, you're talking to your friends. You're just mindful of that moment. And there's nothing sectarian about that. There's nothing religious about that. It's just a human, natural thing. Yeah. So once I learned that, I started becoming easy with it. Meditation, on the other side, it's that time that you set deliberately, but to sit down and practice being mindful. I know that there are very many meditation techniques.
Correct.
You can use your breath, you can use an outside object, but the goal is now the practice, practicing to learn to be mindful. Yeah. So that's the difference. And yeah, the main thing, misconception I've seen, and I encountered it myself as well. It's just that.
Okay. I love that you say that. I took a whole course on mindfulness when I was doing my master's in marriage and family therapy. And I can honestly tell you, when I was starting the program, I was also fighting it, because the narrative that had been sold to me is that I'm engaging in a practice that disconnects or dissociates with my faith, you know. And so once I got to understand the concept, I became very aware of it. I'm teaching it to my children, and I use it in the therapy room a lot. And that's why I asked to talk about the misconceptions, because I see the conflict and the resistance from some clients or participation in mindfulness and meditation because of that misconception. Because the first time you hear about it, you hear it with the Eastern part of the world. And then if your faith disagrees with their beliefs, you already take a position. Now, based on my faith, I went to do deeper research, and using my spiritual books, I got to find that that was also a practice that was practiced in my faith. All right. And that now helped me remove the mind block that kept me feeling, am I engaging in something that will ultimately bring negatives? But then also, research has also confirmed a lot of positives out of mindful exercises. One powerful book is written by Dr. Diane Gehart. We actually used it as a main course text for my program. And this is the thing. They used the practice of mindfulness and meditation in facilities that had clients with chronic illnesses. And then they noticed a shift, that somebody who was taking higher doses of painkillers and higher doses of whichever other medication they were using, there was reduction of that. Then they took it to schools that were they were admitting delinquents. So if this young person, a teenager, commits a crime and they are not above 18, they cannot be taken to prison. So they'll be taken into put in institutions that help them, correct their behavior. Then they notice the power of mindfulness in those young ones. So I'm a big fan and believer that mindfulness works. We just need to speak more about it. And I love that you're making noise about that space. Please keep it up so that men can embrace it and learn about it. And Nick, I've not forgotten about it. I want us to tie this point for Moses. Why do you think mindfulness is particularly important in today's fast-paced world?
Just as you said it, our world is very fast-paced, and that means you're in this web whereby you're constantly thinking, engaging thoughts, mental formations, translating this, interpreting this, and all that. And for you to be at a position even where you can be more productive. You have to learn to. There's a word that the Spanish love using. They call it pause. You have to learn to pause, take a break, and then maybe you can determine your next course of action. And I would say in our fast-paced world, just by the fact that it's very fast-paced, we have to take those moments where we pause and we make sure we are with the present situation as it is that it's happening. And that's the only way we can make better decisions.
And I love that the pause, because even when you get angry, a normal interaction with another human being that triggers you, anytime you respond, which is not actually respond, that's reacting. Anytime you react, the knee-jerk reaction, there's always a regret part of it. But anytime you take a pause, there's a renewed way of responding that is not very negative, that the impacts of that response are not negative. Thanks for that. And back to you, Nick. How does physical fitness and exercise affect your mood, stress levels, or emotional well-being? Again, we're in a very fast-paced world. And this fast-paced world, what does it have? High levels of stress, high levels of emotional dysregulation. People are moody. You're in traffic, and you're just seeing people removing, parts of their hands just because someone is trying to ask for Please tell us, how does exercise affect these aspects of mood and stress levels?
Yeah, exercising is good, and especially when it comes to, for me, I lift weight a lot or something. So I've been lifting weight. So one thing that I noticed is, I think mentally, before you go to the gym, you have to you need to have some mental preparation, because now for you to even lift 100 kgs, bench or something, it needs some mental preparations. So it's a process as well, mentally first. Secondly, you need to gradually add the weights, perhaps maybe grow as well. So in those moments you realize that you learn patience. Even when you are within the gym, there's a community, so you have to be patient with other people, by the way, and especially now when someone joins you and perhaps maybe is not at the level where you are at. So there are some aspect of patience that you need to patience, tolerance. You have to accommodate them, you have to encourage them as well. So in that environment, you'll find yourself, developing some levels of, tolerant or something. But above all things, I think for me, what I've learned is to transform any part of your body. It's very painful. Even perhaps maybe, you want the tummy to disappear. It's painful. That's why other people use shortcuts. But for you to go to the gym, you find yourself, you have to prepare for that. So before the results come out, there's some tremendous pain that you need to overcome and go beyond the pain. So physical exercise, it helps you to go through the pain, because first of all, most people, when there's pain, they stop. But exercise, it will make you to go beyond the pain for you to enjoy the results. So in that kind of environment and system and processes, you realize that whatever it is, even this will go away. Actually, if you look at those people who do exercise, especially either martial art or gym or something, most of them are usually calm. Yeah, most of them are usually calm. There's a discipline to it as well. Most of them are usually calm. Sometimes people might appear as if they are provocative or something, but you'll find most of these bouncers, they're gentle giants.
I love that.
And I think that has come because they know where they've come from. Yeah, so I think mentally you have to be prepared, by the way, that, if I want to do this, then there's a journey I need to take. And so
I love that. And even for the men who are listening, that the place of exercise and fitness for a man produces two results. It produces an aspect of calm energy, so you can be physically, very strong and energetic, and you can look like a scary person. But when people experience you, they experience the opposite. So it's almost like, oh my days, the physique and the demeanor are very different. Because this person has learned to regulate. And here the second thing is the consistency that comes with discipline. For you to achieve the results, there's an aspect of discipline which someone now must be willing to take on. And so here I'm asking myself questions around masculinity and identity, and I do recognize that in our cultural script, there's certain messages that we are given as you're growing up. I have sons, and I know sometimes they come with, they're angry, somebody did something to them, they want to cry, but then they're like, I don't want to cry like a girl. I'm like, no, please cry. Now I'm a mental health professional, so there's no way I'm going to perpetuate that narrative. But I do know there are messages we receive. So my question to you is, what in your growing up, what messages did you receive about being a man and being physically strong?
I think, let me give a story. There's a day, I used to go and play outside, and every time I used to come crying. Someone there's a kid who used to bully me when we were young. So
I'm sorry.
One day my dad got tired and told me, Nick, you cannot be crying every time. You also need to respond. I need that kid's father to come. And I think after hearing that, the next day the kid tried, and I think I beat him up. And the father came. The father came, and my dad asked him, have you seen me in your house when your kid was beating my kid? And so I think it comes from a very good place, not perhaps maybe to implant kind of whatever, but I think it's come from a good place, because as men, I think that prepared me that, that's how the world is, that sometimes there'll be this and this, so you cannot be the only one who keeps coming to me complaining about other kid. But I think that one, after that day, my dad prepared me mentally. So secondly, I think there's a misconception, and I don't know, I think from where I am at, even for me, sometimes I'm still conflicted, I think as a man, where I'm at, that, of course, there are things I don't expect, a boy to do or a man to do. Even I have a son now. Sometimes, he picks up the lipstick of the mom and he applied, and I'm looking at him like, you dude, and I keep on telling him, you cannot do that. And you see, and so I don't know, and I'm serious about it. I tell him, no, you cannot do that. You're a man. You cannot do that. And so sometimes he cries, and I tell him, dude, if it's a girl, it's very different. And I think that happens because we have to prepare them, because men battle a lot of things, though sometimes you battle silently. So, and sometimes someone might not know what you're going through. So if you're not prepared, number one, you've prepared yourself to handle those things before another person comes in to help you. It might change someone's aspect of life or perspective of life, and it might have a long-lasting impact on them, and perhaps maybe the people that surround them, or how they interact with, even with other people, with the ladies, with the men, and other things. Yes.
I hear you, and that speaks about mentorship.
Yes.
That even as we parent, even as we show up in the world, we're also being called to be mentors to the next generation, and allowing them to know, how the boundaries with which to operate within,
Yes.
So how do you balance striving for excellence without tying your entire identity to performance?
Oh, that's a very deep question. There was a time, like I said, I've been in the gym for quite some time, and there were moments that I asked myself, because sometimes when you go to the gym, you can lose with confidence, everything, is masculine, and so you come, people show you. But there was a time I asked myself, if I don't look like this, will I still be confident? So is my confidence lying on my physique and how I look or how I appear, and is that sustainable? So I took a break for a year by the not going to the gym, so that I can just build that inner confidence that comes even without the results, just me being me for a year, by the way. And I think I did time. It was also big, but well, my body didn't really do it. But I can tell you, I was building the inner man, and so I think excellence should not be based on performance. For me, I think at that moment, I was like, okay, I need to build the inner confidence without the outward appearance. That even if, because things happen, if perhaps maybe I look like this, if we've seen people who ended up in wheelchair, we've seen people perhaps maybe who could no longer go to gym and grown fat. At that point, will you still be confident of yourself? Will you still feel like you're living an excellent life, or is it tied to performance? So I think based on that is where I took a break for like a year and some, just to work on my inner confidence, because most of the time unajua watu wa gym wana kiburi. Tu jamaa tu ako hapa meja, Mose has been around us, so he can know, because someone can see you the first time and like, okay, no, let me keep off this speed. You get it? Yeah. So so I think for me, that's how I can put it. Excellence sometimes is not performance based. Sometimes it's just the inward person who understands and is mindful with what Moses is saying, mindful of himself and his environment, and is contented with where he is at and where he wants to go.
That's true.
Yeah, I think so.
I love that. And so I'm hearing that your identity is not tied to the muscles we see and the bravado you display. That there's a time you took a break from physical exercise, not because you do not respect it, not because you do not want to maintain the discipline, but you are working on yourself. So that kudos to you for doing that. That's a lot of self-awareness.
Yes.
So back to Moses, many men are taught to suppress emotions, as I said even with the example of my sons. Mtu ameumia, there's a feeling of hurt and pain, but then the fear of crying because, oh, you're crying like a girl, So in this month of men's mental health awareness season, we are allowing men to learn that emotional expression is okay. So my question to you is, many men are taught to suppress emotions. How does mindfulness help men become more aware of what they are feeling?
Well, I would first say mindfulness helps you and encourages you to accept what is happening at that particular time. And when emotions are coming up, one thing you should acknowledge, and that's a fact for all men, we can't fight, we can't run away from. The emotions are with us. If we weren't supposed to have them, they wouldn't be there in the first place.
That's true.
Yeah, so the best you can do is not to suppress, is not to escape or run away from it.
Correct.
It's to accept the emotions that's there.
Yeah.
And the emotions tell a deeper story. They just tell a deeper story of what's going on within you. Yeah. So it's upon you. Sit with it. Sit with the emotions. Experience them and learn to incorporate them as part of your life. There's nothing absolutely wrong with emotions. What I tell men is just that bottom line. The fact that they're there, they are meant to be there. You have your hands because they're useful. It's the way nature has evolved us to be as humans. So there's no point in suppressing something that is already there. Whether you are male, female, doesn't matter.
Yeah. They love the part that says it's there for a purpose, because we don't even oftentimes think that emotions are there for a purpose. We know that the eyes are there to see, the hands are there to do whatever but you're telling us the emotions are there for a purpose. So that awareness is amazing. And so for you, how has mindfulness, after noticing and embracing it and practicing it, how has it allowed you to experience life differently before knowing about mindfulness and exercising mindfulness, and after? What are the obvious changes?
Well, I can say one of the immediate impacts was I saw a drop in my stress levels. Remember, I mentioned like I had episodes of insomnia, I couldn't sleep.
Yes.
I started sleeping better. Even my gut health had been affected a bit, improved. The migraines went.
Yeah.
So physically, that was a physical manifestation
Yeah.
of what the change that has gone in
Yeah.
within.
Yeah.
But one key thing that I learned during that period is the impermanent nature of life.
You've actually preempted my next question. And so, sorry to cut you, but this was the question. What was one of the biggest lessons you learned about yourself through mindfulness? Now, continue with that thought process.
Yeah.
The
Like
impermanent nature.
of life itself. Everything is impermanent.
Yeah.
And I think it ties in well also with what Nick is mentioning. You can't place your confidence on your image.
That's true.
You can't define yourself by your physique, by what you do, by circumstances and things that happen to you or even around you. So that was a very powerful moment for me when I realized, just as the thoughts, when you're focusing on the thoughts and you are aware even of your thought pattern, and you can see them come, arising and passing, changing, and you soon discover that's the nature of life. That's the way of life. Everything comes, everything goes. So however difficult the situation is, you keep reminding yourself this too shall pass.
I love that. And so when you started mindfulness, did you face any type of skepticism from yourself or others when you began this journey?
Absolutely. I was a bit hesitant. That's why I went into research, and my hesitance came from my faith as well. I'm raised Christian. So it's like, now what is this? And I think you mentioned that as well. In my research, I discovered mindfulness is in the Bible. Jesus talks about it when he says, "Be watchful, watch and pray." That's being alert, being present in that moment. When he tells the disciples, "What I say to you, I say to all: stay awake or stay alert." That's mindfulness. When he talks about, even in the Old Testament, when they talk about stillness, being still, knowing that's all mindfulness. And I think for me, I came to redefine it and to like merge it with my faith when I realized that prayer is that, because we are taught more about prayer as Christians, and prayer is a petition that you make to an outside source, to God,
your higher being.
Your higher being. Even legally, you might make a prayer to a court of law. So it's a request you make on a source that is outside of you. But when it comes to something like meditation, it's now accessing the answers to your prayers. Because whenever you pray to God, He deposits the answers within you. And I think that's why, even if I can quote Jesus, He talks more about the kingdom of God being within you. So that's how I overcame that hurdle. But it was a big hurdle for me. People around me, of course, coming from a Christian background, family, they'll think, oh, that is what's that?
Talk to me direct.
New and strange.
Have you become a Buddhist?
Yes, I've had that a lot too.
It's not about converting you from any one religion to another. As my teacher would say, it's converting you from misery or suffering to happiness and wellness.
Please say that again.
It's not converting you from one religion to another, but from misery or suffering to happiness and wellness.
That's profound. That's very profound. And the awareness you're creating and the conversations you're having are bringing that awareness because we are deconstructing some narratives, we are deconstructing some myths around the place of mindfulness. And maybe when people try, they will say, oh, that gentleman talked about less migraines, better sleep, and I'm actually now experiencing it. Thanks for that. Now, I know our time is coming to an end, but back to you, Nick. And now I'm thinking about community. I'm looking at support and noticing, as we've said before, men do not easily open up, men do not easily talk about their struggles. Most of the men do not have a lot of safe people around them. But how can we bring together the place of building community around exercise? And this is my question. Have coaches, teammates, gym partners, mentors influence your well-being journey? And how important is community in maintaining physical and mental health? I hope that's too much. I hope it's not too much of a mouthful.
No.
Yeah.
Yes. I think in anything you need a community.
Yeah.
Community is very, very important. And especially, even the gym, it's funny, you go to the gym and you find someone lifting heavier than you. And then you start pursuing them. Oh, I want to lift. I want to lift like him. And you realize when you go to the gym, or rather, you always have a community. And they usually encourage you in small ways or big ways, directly or indirectly. Like gym is a space whereby, it's a safe space, where you need to learn. Like for me, when I started lifting, you'll find people coming and tell me, okay, no, this is not the way to lift it. Lift it like this. And in that moment, I'm encouraged. And, sometimes perhaps maybe you might train alone and someone else come to join and tell you, can we do this together? So if it's perhaps maybe any exercise to do with the back, to do the legs, you'll find a community around. The hardest, if you ask someone who is lifting, the hardest thing is legs. Leg day. Leg work. People run away from leg work. I mean, because it's the heaviest. So you'll find, sometimes your limit is 80. Then someone tells you, you can do 100. Let's do 100. Then you begin to wonder, okay, can I do 100? Tell you, yeah, I'll be there to support you. So you'll realize, by the way, that yes, first of all, they don't speak to your body, because your body is no, I cannot do, but they speak to your mind mentally. So you realize, okay, let's do 100, and then he's there, giving you support, supporting you behind you, and so without and then later you realize, oh, by the way, I can even do 120, 150 kgs, with support. So you realize, any form of support is needful. Number two, well, besides that also, you realize that, when you go to the gym, the masculine energy, you'll find yourself, there's always someone better than you. There's always someone.
Peace with that.
There's always someone who is better than you. If it's lifting weight, there's someone who is good at one thing. You can be good at lifting one area, but this person is good at lifting the other area. So for you to succeed, you realize, oh, okay. So you realize at some point you have to drop your ego. Like, okay, go to Moses. I want to lose my tummy. How can I do it? I said, okay, come. Or I want to do leg, or I want to do this. How can I do it? Okay, do it like this, do it like this. So you realize, even for you to be, for you to get the result you want, you cannot be yourself. You must have a community around you. If you've seen, I've seen some very, dangerous videos. Someone trained by themselves. They got injured, or they are lifting, weights, and at some point they cannot. So so you realize, sometimes is when you realize, oh, by there, as much as even if you're an expert, or however experienced you are, you need someone to support you. And so sometimes you realize even a stranger will just form friendship with you, because once you see someone even lifting 100 and you've not invited them, I'll always be on the watch out. Okay, 1, 2, then see if I can rush there to help him. So that's the environment, and in that environment, you realize, oh, okay, this is very, very helpful. Yeah, yeah.
And if another man is watching you today, as we do this interview, and is feeling alone right now,
Yeah.
what would you want him to hear? It can be related to fitness, it may not, but you're reaching out to a fellow man in this month of June, and we are looking out for one another, and there's a message you have for them. What would you want them to hear?
I think for me, I'll advise them on fitness.
On fitness, okay.
If I'm allowed to speak on that, because
it has worked for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I shared my experience before.
Yes.
And besides the gym, it led me also to a place where I was drinking, I was smoking, and I was, smoking bang, cigarettes, drinking and everything. And so the effects of that even after sometimes can be very costly, because you get, sometimes you're going through a mental, situation, and now you, in the process of escaping, you pick another habit, perhaps maybe it's drinking or eating. So you realize, at the end of the day, you have to look at the effect after that. But one thing I've admired with perhaps maybe physical fitness and exercise is it helps you through. Like for me, going through the pain, transforming your body is pain. So no matter what comes my way, I always know that even this shall pass, because the way you've set up, we've set up our minds mentally that, I have to go through this pain. I have to go through, like I have to, if it's chest, if it's my legs, I have to go through it. And even this shall pass and the outcome will be good. So whoever is going through, perhaps maybe hard time, they should always know, number one, that, yes, you're a man. Number one, you're a man. You can be a father, but besides being a father, you're a brother to someone, you're an uncle to someone, you're a nephew to someone, you're a cousin to someone. So you might fail in one, perhaps maybe if you are a husband, but then you can also thrive in the rest. Because I think this month I've had, some 2 cases of men who have, one, locked himself up and, dosed the family in fire. Another one killed the wife. But to realize, perhaps maybe they looked at themselves only from one angle as a husband. But they forgot that, number one, I have sisters, that, this might affect them so much. I have nieces and nephews. I have cousins. I am a son. And so I think, look at yourself holistically in the role that you're playing, number one, as a man, that you're not just a man as a man, but in all these other functions of life, where life has placed you, in the family that you've been planted in, and draw energy from that and be encouraged that, you are celebrated in other functions as well. Yeah.
That is such a powerful message from you, Nick,
Yes.
that the fact that I failed in one area
Yes.
does not generalize my failure
Yes.
in every other area.
Correct, yeah.
I could fail in business, but I've not failed in other spaces.
Yes.
So drawing pockets of grace and gratitude from
Yes.
these other spaces that are also doing well,
Yes, yes.
and noticing this one area and looking at it as a place of growth. Because for it to have failed, maybe there's something that needed to be done different. So if it's accountability, you take your accountability, then make it a better decisions,
Yes,
or
yes.
seek help and support.
Yes, yes.
So I love that.
And in addition,
Yes, please.
I think seek out, talk to other people. I talked to Moses. I remember when I went to Meru, and I reached out to Moses, because, the transition was not, sometimes when transitioning, and I kept talking to Moses. We've been in touch, by the way, and now that he has been married for almost 40 years. He was married for almost 40 years, from the time I knew him and we were young. I'm kidding. So I've always talked to, if I needed someone to talk to, actually, I call Moses. So men might not be like ladies, like they call each other every time. But I know that, number one, is if things go bad, and bad, and I know if things go worse, I know if I knock on Moses' door, Moses, I can sleep on the mattress, and it's a safe space for me. And so find safe spaces, find people whereby you can talk to, no matter no matter the situation, and they will not you not feel ashamed, or even if you feel ashamed, they'll protect you, so you're safe. I think that can really help a lot of men, because most men don't talk. We don't talk. We die with things, but then the people that we can talk to. So it's a good thing.
That you guys have built such a long-standing friendship speaks that men can actually have confidence, safe people,
yes,
over and above romantic partners. That there's a brother, that brotherhood aspect. Because I mean, of course, we get stabbed every so often. Life just happens to be life, But there's evidence here of long-standing friendship and the confidence that this is your bro.
Yes.
Not biological, but if if the bottom fell out, you know that you have space in his heart and in his house. So
and guitar, and of course guitar as well.
I love that.
Yeah.
I celebrate that. So Moses, we are looking at community and families, relationships around us, and I want you to speak about how mindfulness can make men better partners, better fathers, better leaders. And once you do that, you're going to lead us into an exercise of mindfulness for them to see what are we actually talking about. So here we're looking at community. How has this aspect empowered you in your roles, and how can it empower other men? And then give us an example of how to do that.
Absolutely. So one beautiful thing about mindfulness, it gets you to this point where you accept yourself. Just as we were talking about acceptance of circumstances that life throws at you and all that. You come to accept yourself as a person. You see your flaws and you're graceful to yourself. Become gracious to yourself. It's a loving of yourself, self-love sort of. Yeah. And once you develop that, you can't help it but extend it to other people. And so in this way you find like all the relationships around you tend to improve. You become more patient. People around you, your family, your friends, your colleagues at work, and you become more gracious, you become more forgiving, and at least you can give people a second chance and all that, because you identify the struggles that everyone is going through. And, I can give us a simple exercise.
Yes, please. We're ready for you.
You're ready.
We will practice it with Nick here. Nick, from here you have to become mindful. You're not doing one.
By the way, I knew when Moses started.
Okay.
When he was talking about people were skeptical.
Yes.
I was like, Moses, talk to me directly. I was one of the skeptics. I was like, Moses, are you practicing Buddha? But Buddhism. But yeah. So when he was talking, I knew, and I can attest, by the way. I can attest, that Moses is one of the, I've never seen Moses angry. I don't know if he's ever gotten angry with me. But he does it, but he's very mindful, by the way. He's very mindful of how he expresses it. And I think now that is something that we need, because then when you have a community, you realize, sometimes how you manifest yourself can determine how far you can go with other people. Yeah, and how you can, and how can that have an impact on your relationship with the rest of the people.
Beautiful. So that's a testament to the fact that it's working. There's evidence. People around you, people around you have seen, have experienced, and they're speaking positively about the beauties of being mindful. So let's do something together before we wrap up.
Okay, just a brief explanation of what you're going to do. Yeah. So what you're going to do is just, they'll call it breath awareness. Yeah, like we said, to be mindful, to practice mindfulness, you try to look for an object, an anchor, where it can help you to anchor that awareness of yours. And you can choose anything. Yeah, but reason I like focusing on the breath is that one, it's always with you. it's universal. Everyone has breath, whether you're black, brown, red, Christian, Muslim, it doesn't matter. It's not sectarian,
Yeah.
and it's always with you, and you don't need to spend anything. It's free. It's always there. Yeah, as long as you're alive, you have the breath with you. So that means you can practice anywhere you are at any time. You don't need of any extra resource. So, and it's just a simple awareness of your breath, whereby you rest your mind on the entrance to your nostrils. Yeah, like right here, this area, the entrance of your nostrils, and you just try to focus on each breath as it comes in and as it goes out. If you're finding it difficult, you can even say it silently with me, like in, and you'll discover your thought comes there, your awareness comes there, but because of the nature of the mind, it's used to wandering. It's like a monkey mind. Your mind might wander. You might start thinking about what you're going to do next after this, what happened, what did I say, I should have said this. And once you become aware of that, bring it back to your mind. So in such a way, you're just sharpening your mind and reconditioning your mind to stay with the present moment. So that when you move out of that practice and you're out there going about with your daily activities, it's easy to always bring your mind back to what you're doing. Yeah, so to begin with, you just you can sit comfortably, any position that is comfortable. We're just going to do this maybe for 2 or 3 minutes. Yeah, it's nothing difficult. You can close your eyes to minimize distractions. Yeah, and then you just bring your awareness to the entrance of your nostril and be mindful of each breath that you take. Be aware. Each incoming breath and outgoing breath. Your entire focus on the area at the entrance of your nostril, and you're aware of every breath. In breath, the out breath. In breath and the out breath. Just the normal breath as it is, without adding anything. If it's slow, it's slow. If it's fast, it's fast. Just as it is. Place your awareness right there. Yeah, simple. So
Sounds good rating.
Yeah, this is something you can just be doing. You can schedule a time.
Yes, for
It's good always to have a schedule. If it's first thing you do in the morning, first 10 minutes of the day, or the last few minutes before you retire to bed, just take a moment and breathe.
Okay.
And be aware.
Beautiful. Brings us to the end of our session, but I'll just allow you a parting shot for our viewers. Anything, it can be in line with our topic of today. It can be anything that comes at the surface of your mind, but just look at the camera and give your parting shot.
Well, I would love to encourage men this month where we are focusing on men's mental health. To prioritize your mental health, know that it's very important, and treat it with the seriousness it deserves. The reason I'm saying this is because I've encountered many men who downplay the impact of mental health. They think it's just ni mawazo tu, ni shida tu, itapita tu. You need to take action, and you need to start arming yourselves with different tools that will help you cope with difficult moments. It's the way of life, it's the nature of life. Trials will come, tribulations will come, and it's therefore necessary in your toolbox. Have these tools that can help you navigate when these moments come. Exercise is one of them. I'm a big supporter of exercise as well. Meditation, mindfulness, journaling. There are endless tools that you can use.
Yeah, I would like to encourage men to, especially this month of June, the mental health month, to pause and reflect. Yeah, life can be so fast, and you know, in the world of performance, you may think you're doing bad, but you're doing well, and you'll just only know if you pause. So let's pause, reflect. Let's be aware of ourselves and where we are at.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Nick and Moses. It was such a pleasure to have these conversations, to remind ourselves and to remind the men who are watching of the important things that sometimes are forgotten, ignored, or we keep postponing and procrastinating, but they are adding and contributing to the well-being, the mental well-being, the physical well-being of a whole man. So thank you for that. Mine is to say that we have finished up the conversation around physical fitness, exercise, and mindfulness, and I hope you've taken some tips that you can work with and teach and mentor those young boys and men that we are raising. Stay locked. We have more coming as we continue with the series on men's mental well-being in the month of June. Asanteni sana and lovely afternoon.